Well, hey everyone, this is Don Smith, and I want to welcome you to which is really part two of a video where we're taking a look at textures. And as I was in New York this past week for the unveiling of the new Sony A7R4, and I can't wait to get my hands on that camera, it's going to be awesome. I received some emails from some of you asking, hey Don, can this technique be done in Luminar? And the answer is yes, in Luminar 3, you can do it. And today I want to show you how I took this picture, an infrared picture I captured out on the east side of Pinnacles National Park of the high peaks, and through using textures in Luminar, got it to look like this. So we'll get pretty close to looking that way. But let's go ahead and open up Luminar 3. While it's opening, if you were to go to my website, www.donsmithphotography.com, click on the discounts and affiliates link on the home page and click on the Luminar 3 tab, or the little picture that you see there, the little icon. It will take you to the Luminar page, and right now, I just checked it before making this video, you could save $10 off of Luminar. They actually have some bundled packages that are pretty cool to take a look at, so go ahead and check them out. Okay, by the way, use my code at checkout, very important to mention, Don Smith, all caps, DONSMITH. Okay, I'm going to clear out the workspace here and click on my Add Filter, so my filter catalog comes up. And if you look down here, you can see there is a texture overlay. So I'm going to click, and I'm going to click on the little bar that says Load Texture. And I've been using these textures from Flypaper. You can use whatever you want. You may have a folder of your own textures you've shot, but you have to have some textures somewhere. They're not going to come with the Luminar program. I want to start with Pollux because this has given me kind of a painterly look that I'm looking for, brush strokes. I'm going to take the amount, by default it's at 50, I crank it up to 100. I come back up here to the word textured overlay. You see there's a little drop down here, and here's our blend mode, similar to what I showed you in the first video. And as you cycle through all of these, you get different looks, all of these different blend modes. So I'm going to come up here to multiply to start with, because that gives me that kind of heavy brush look that I'm looking for up here in the sky. And we're off and running. Now, I want to add another texture, so I simply can't re-click on this button. I have to go down here and click Textured Overlay to bring that filter up again. If I was to click on that, it would just simply replace the filter I already have in place, and that's not what we want. We want to build on the effect. So I'm going to click Load Texture. By the way, I've got quite a few different folders that I've downloaded from Flypaper. This one's in a folder called Celestial Painterly that I really, really like. Been using it quite a bit. And I want to come over here to this one called Centaurus and click Open. Okay, we got to do the same thing. We got to crank it up to 100. Drop down, go into our blend mode, and this time I think I want to come down here into hard light. That looks pretty cool. Now, see how the red portion of this filter is orientated that way? Well, that's what these little arrows do. This lets you kind of flip around the orientation. So I want to flip it to the left side, get it up in there. I want to get it off the bottom, so now I'm going to click this icon, and now I've got that red kind of up on top. Okay, we click our eyeball, there's where we began, just adding two textures. But I'm going to go a little bit more with this and play around with it. So I want to come up here to Develop, and this should look very familiar to you. Looks like the basic module in Lightroom. I'm going to take my whites down just to make sure I'm holding detail in these backlit gray pines. And I think I'm going to take my shadows down. I want to get this rich looking in here. And now I want to add another favorite filter of mine called Golden Hour, because I want to warm all of this up a little bit. There we go. We're going, kind of getting it back the way I want it to look now. And as I was running through here, I said, well, why stop? Let's go with the Orton effect, which a lot of you are probably really familiar with. This is a look where we can give kind of a dreamy look to our image. And I want to just pump the amount up to around 50. I want to get, you know, these trees were backlit and I want to kind of get them glowing. Let's take the softness up. This is all just sort of to taste, you know, and no set rules here. This is where it's really fun. You can just play with this stuff. Crank the brightness back a little, and even let's take the contrast up. Okay, one other thing I want to add here, and let me see if I can find the filter I'm looking for. Right here, dodge and burn, because we're going to stay in Luminar. Normally I would do this in Photoshop, but I'm going to click where it says start painting. And you see you have some decisions. You can lighten, you can darken. This is dodging, this is burning. I want to lighten. By default, it's 50% opacity. I'm going to tap my red bracket key up. And what I want to do is kind of reveal a little bit more of what's hiding back here. Come up this ridge line too. Back here in these backlit spires, these volcanic spires. And if you can see, I kind of lightened that up a little too much. I went over, so let's click to darken. Go with a smaller brush, and we'll sort of paint that back in. And I'm going to come back to lighten. I'm going to take this up now. There's a before and after for you. I didn't mean to do that, but that gave you an idea where we're at. And I'm going to really kind of lighten up these trees down in here. See if I can reveal anything back over in here. That's looking kind of cool. All right, and I think we're almost there. Let's just try if I can find it very quickly. Where's my vignetting filter? There it is, right there. Let's see if this could use a vignette. Just a little bit. Bring the eye, keep it centered into the center of the tree. I want to do one other thing. I want to come back to dodge and burn here, and I want to darken down this tree. So we'll leave the opacity at 50%. And just paint that back in. Now I think we've got it. Let's check before. Oops, I got to get out of the painting mode there. Here we go. There we go. Before. I love this too. You can scrub. This is, you know, this just gives you a great visual of where you're going and where you've been. So from there to there, and we've got kind of a cool looking image, you know, and you could play around and do whatever the heck else you would like to do with it. You know, if anything, I would come back in here and I would click lighten and really take the opacity down maybe to about 20% and just bring up these trees just a smidgen, just a little bit. Okay, so that's how you do it with textures in Luminar 3. Again, go to my website, www.donsmithphotography.com, discounts and affiliates, click on Luminar, and Don Smith all in caps to get your discount. Start playing today. All right, so I hope this has helped you out. Just another way you can have creative fun. By the way, the infrared was done with my Sony a6000 converted by Life Pixels. And one of these days I will be doing a video on shooting infrared. That's another creative avenue. So we just kind of combined two creative avenues here on just a bright kind of blank blue sky sunny day, and had a lot of fun with it in the process. So I hope this helped you. Check out my workshops on my website. And we hope to see you in one of the workshops, and we have a lot of fun. So until next time, you take care.